This is Nigel. I am Right, voice CEO and gratitude champion, and welcome to a season's greetings edition of Right Thoughts around midnight. So today, I'm walking outside in Tampa, and it's actually after midnight right now. I got caught up in holiday shopping and missed the last bus. So I'm relegated to walking, which is fine because the walk is great. And it is so peaceful and quiet out here in Tampa, I can't even tell you. It's just a beautifully serene sort of feeling. And I enjoy walking regularly, but this is just, you can hear the crickets, you can hear cars walking by, and if you hear something rolling, it's because I bought some luggage, which I was in desperate need of. So I just passed something that I'd never been by before, which was the New York Yankees training and scouting facility, which is right down the block from Raymond James Stadium, which is where I'm passing right now. So if you hear this rolling, it's actually the suitcase that I'm rolling rather than carrying. So thank God for wheels. But anyway, I wanted to leave this message and do it with purpose. And I wanted to cover three very specific things that just speak to all the wonderful things and amazing things that I'm so grateful for that's happened over this past year. And with COVID and everything else, I think it's important to acknowledge those things. The three things I want to talk about very specifically are community, operating transparently and with intent, and I know there was a third. As you can see, I'm ad-libbing this as I go along. I'm not going from any particular script. But the third thing is about just building with each other and really taking the next step beyond community to actually create from the intellectual brain trust, the camaraderie, the seemingly ability to cooperate amongst the people in the voice NFT Metaverse community. So those are the three things. Community, operating transparently and with intent, and being able to build something greater than ourselves. The 1 + 1 = 11. And really putting some action behind the words that so typically fade shortly after they're said. Sometimes, it takes a little bit longer, but many times it just does fade. It doesn't transform or translate or grow into anything. Now, not everything is going to, but I feel like if the opportunity is there, we should at least explore it. Because with the world moving as fast as it is these days, with technology operating at light speed, why not? I think we're in a different place right now. COVID has definitely shown that what some might have thought of as security. The security is you being able to do what it is you need to do. And a lot of us have thrived during this time. But some of us have faltered. When I listen to Publix and I see their advertising and they say 1 in 9 people are suffering from food insecurity, it really makes me think. But let's jump into this a little bit, and so I don't keep this too long. But I hope you stick with me, because this message is especially for all the people who have been so important to helping me grow, learn, and just think. Your contribution, your generosity with your time and your knowledge has been invaluable, and I can't be more grateful. So let me just start by saying that. So let me jump into community. That word is being thrown around quite a bit. It's being used not necessarily recklessly, but I don't think accurately. What is community? Community is something that actually build something. It's not about digging in someone's pocket. It's not about doing things to receive other things. Although there's nothing wrong with that. I think, reciprocity is great. But if you're curating that experience and you're doing it for the purpose of getting something back, then that kind of defeats the purpose of it. And I question sometimes the use of the word community. I don't know what community exactly means for each of you, but I'd like to know. And if you would do me the kindness and grace me with your thoughts and share what you believe community is, or what it looks like, what it could be, what it should be. I'm gonna start by sharing what I think it should be. I'm in community with many of you, not all, but many of you. And by in community, I mean this. I mean that I can go to my phone, I can text, call, message, ask a question, not feel like I'm just indiscriminately taking, not feel like I'm out of place or like I owe something, and feel confident that it's going to be received comfortably, and I'm going to get some kind of answer. I'm going to get some kind of response. And that's because we're in community. Not my community, not your community, in community. Meaning that two-way street, is always going. It's a 16, 30, maybe 64 lane highway that just goes express, HOV the whole way. Because that's how we grow. No one knows everything, and no one of us is smarter than all of us. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we get to start growing at the exponential pace. And while I don't think we will ever catch up to the technology in terms of speed, I think we need to speed up though. And I think the way to speed up is to basically, in the most positive way, exploit the opportunities that are in front of us for us to be utilized by each other. Not used, utilized. Utility, value brought to the table. And you're not going to know everything, but there's many of us that have expertise in areas that has not even been explored by the community itself. Sometimes we don't know what that expertise is. Sometimes there's a reluctance to ask because you feel a type of way. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity there that is just simply not being explored. And that to me is what being in community means. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that particular topic of community. All right, so I look forward to that. I hope you actually take me up on that request, because I'm genuinely interested. So moving on. The second thing I want to talk about is the importance of operating with intent and operating transparently. I think that when we are comfortable, or when we get comfortable, or we work towards being comfortable with asking for those things which we need and offering those things which we have, we go a lot further, a lot faster when we operate with intent. And when we're transparent about it. I don't see anything wrong with someone saying, you know what, I would love to do business with you. And this is the value that I think that can be brought to the table. And this is how our 1 + 1 could equal 11. What do you think? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel, on the other hand, when someone offers you something, and it could be as simple, and marketing is kind of that way. What do they call it? The tripwire, or the ethical bribe. Even that terminology is just wrong. You're giving someone something that really doesn't have the value that you're presenting. To me, I've always believed that the gift is in the giving and the reciprocity is in the recipient paying for it. And you probably heard me say this. You want to give someone something, make it something valuable that they can use, and they don't have to do anything for it. But the idea is to make it in such a way that they're going to come back to you and say, man, that was really powerful. That really did something good. And I'm not talking about the proverbial, wow, great, amazing. Thank you for thinking of me. When you really doesn't matter. When nothing happened with what was sent to you. I'm talking about when you say, you know what? Why don't you try this out? I think you're going to find some success, and let me know how it goes. And have the person come back wildly successful with it. Trust me, it opens doors. It opens and stimulates conversation, and it keeps things moving in a proper direction. I think if you approach it with the wrong intent, or dare I say nefarious or non-transparent reasons, it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel right. And don't get me wrong, it works. It absolutely works. I will be the first one to admit that. It does work. But the question is, and I'm going to borrow from Ian Utilli, there's nothing wrong with making money, but we've got to ask ourselves, are we trying to build legacy, or are we trying to do something else? Now, Ian gave, a closing keynote, and that was a theme, and that was one of the things that resonated with me. The whole idea of building legacy, and it's always resonated with me, to be honest. I just think he put it so succinctly that it just made sense, talking about how people would build castles that they would never live in. I think that ability is in us. And many of you commented on that, on that fact. The ability for us to truly build legacy with one another is absolutely there. The question is, why aren't we doing it more? I don't know. I know I do what I can. I'm sure I could do better. And my intention is to continue to improve. But that goes for all of us. I think we can literally build legacy, and we can do a lot more. When I think about all the amazing people that I sit in rooms with, week after week, day after day, month after month, and the conversations we have, and how much opportunity is just slipping right through our fingers. And don't get me wrong, I know everybody's busy. But I find it hard to believe that there's so much talent, so much camaraderie, so much beautiful conversation that we are not putting our foot through the floorboard and really accelerating to say, you know what? We've been getting together for a year now, and look at what we've accomplished. Look at the number of people we've helped. Look at the folks that were not involved, that we got involved, that have made an impact. And we're not doing it. Or at least not nearly as good as I think we can. And I'm interested to hear what you think about this as well. If you disagree with that, please say something. And if you agree with that, say something also. But I feel like it's these types of dialogue that we need to start having, so that we actually start to put some, get some actionable intelligence out of these conversations and make something, worthwhile. So the final thing I'm going to talk about, before I, sign off with a holiday greeting for you all, is just being able to build with someone. And what I want to do is, I really want to be in community with the people who desire to do that with me as well. And what I'm going to ask is, if you're listening to this and it resonated in any way, maybe I have it already, but send me your email, send me your phone number, say, you know what, I really want to connect. Let's see what we can actually build. And that's what I'd love to hear. And then we can start little micro, wins, and really start building something. And I think with each person participating in this process, this can grow exponentially. And before long, it will become very powerful. And we may look back at this a year from now. I may be giving this same, Right Thoughts, Season's Greetings episode around midnight. Hopefully I'm not walking. I made the bus. But yeah. And we can say, you know what? Look at what we've accomplished. Look at what we've been able to grow and build. So I'm going to wrap this up and say, yeah, reach out. And I'm going to send this to everybody. And I hope you find value in it. I hope it wasn't too intrusive, and, it was a bit long, but I think it's important. And I think it's also very important for me to acknowledge, each of you. And I wish I could name every single person. But you'll see yourself tagged in the various posts that come out, because I want to hear from you. I want to say thank you for giving of your time, giving of your knowledge, for being gracious host, for being active and, valuable contributors to every space I've shared with you guys, or that I've just participated in or just attended. For the opportunities to speak on stages, to meet people who I might not have ever met, to learn things that I might not have ever known. And all these things happened because of you. Because you said it was okay to invite me in. The guy with no picture. So I think that in of itself makes me grateful. It makes me thankful. And it makes me think about each and every one of you. And it makes me want to wish you the happiest of happy, blessings of abundance, health and prosperity, and all the beautiful things that you deserve. I hope this holiday season, if you're celebrating, finds you around people you love, embracing them, understanding that the moments you're sharing will not happen again. Time will pass. So that you dig in, that you unplug, turn your brain off a little bit, and just relax and enjoy some time with your families, with your friends that you may not have seen. Reach out to some people who you may not have talked to. Reconnect, recharge, and come back energized and ready to build community, act with intent, and really grow something that we can be proud of a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. Legacy. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I thank you for all you've done in 2021. This is Nigel. I am right, voice CEO and gratitude champion, and this has been a season's greeting episode of Right Thoughts Around Midnight. I wish you all well, and I would love to know what you think. I'm done speaking. Peace.